Welcome to another episode of the Elevated Barbers Podcast. My name is Bradford Kelly. I am the owner of Another Level of Barbering and the proud co-host of the one, the only Elevated Barbers Podcast right here. And I'm here with my co-host.
I ain't gonna forget my name this time. This is Delmar, aka The Prince, owner of Royal Luxe Grooming, also co-host of the one and only Elevated Barbers Podcast. Let's start the show.
1, 2, 3, 4.
All right, we are here and we are on episode 5 of season 2. And we told you all that we was going to be bringing some epic guests this season. And I could go down the rundown of everybody that we've gotten. I could do it, but I'm not going to do it. What I'm going to do right now is just allow Delmar to introduce our next guest, a very special person to him and somebody that I'm looking to get to know myself. Delmar, go ahead and introduce who we have coming to us.
So today, joining us on episode 5, he is in Baton Rouge. I look up to him. He's inspirational. We've been following each other for a while on Instagram. He always posts great motivational content. Needless to say, I want to bring to the stage Mr. Joseph, aka TheRealEstate Barber.
Hey, welcome.
What's going on, fellas? How y'all doing today?
Doing pretty good. Joe, how about yourself?
I'm great, man. I'm great. No complaints.
We went outside this morning. It was a little cool.
Yeah, I'm glad for it, but it was a little shock this morning. I had to go in and get a little long sleeve on.
Yeah, me too. I wasn't expecting that.
Nah.
I had to play basketball with a hoodie on this morning, but it's all good.
Yeah, that's right. But knowing Louisiana, tomorrow is going to be hot again.
Yeah. Or it might be hot tonight.
Tonight, right.
Yeah, y'all weather is bipolar for sure.
Definitely. So, Joseph, man, I appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule and joining us on the podcast. Like I mentioned when I was introducing you, I was sharing with Brad that we should have you on our show because of what I've been watching you do over the past couple of years, especially during the pandemic with opening up your salon suites. I won't tell you a story. I'll let you get into that. But just what I've seen you do over the past few years that we've been following each other. And like I said, you post great content, a lot of content that the young barbers that's coming into the industry need to look at and watch and observe.
Yeah.
But go ahead and give us like just a backstory of how you got into the barbering industry and how long you've been into the barbering industry.
Well, I started at my first shop August 7, 2000. So this year makes 23 years I've been standing behind a chair.
Oh, wow.
Kind of long.
That's a long time.
Yeah,
I'm with you, my
I
brother.
think I was 19 years old. So yeah,
Okay.
I graduated high school in 1999 and I tried to go to college. Did okay, but I wasn't really focused on it. Then I was always cutting at the exact same time because I started way back in probably middle school here and just kind of took it a little more serious around college and started working at a shop while I was at Southern. And that's how I got here, from starting at Southern, trying to go to computer science, and then saw that it just wasn't for me at the time. So I said, let me go cut hair full time. And I've been doing that ever since.
Man, Joe, that's funny. So I'm just now learning this about you. So I actually was at Baton Rouge Community College a little bit later than you, but I was at Baton Rouge Community College and I was going for computer science and I wasn't focused on it. And I had already been cutting hair at 17. And then I had to just get the courage to tell my parents, look, this is not what I want to do. And I ended up going to barbering school and never had to look back.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
y'all did the hurdle of college. I only did it for like 6 months and I knew it wasn't for me immediately. I was just like, no.
But I was, from like my era, like I don't know how old you guys are, but in my era, it was college or college, like that was supposed to do, go to get some college degree. I mean, not saying that people look down on trades, but barbering wasn't as cool as it is today.
Yeah, trades weren't promoted like
trades
that.
Wasn't promoted like it was trades were almost, welders and barbers and electricians. People had those jobs, but people looked down on them. I'm not gonna say look down on them. They wasn't promoted like you said.
Yeah.
Where that you wanted your child to go to after school.
Yeah. It wasn't spoken about. I remember being in high school and they would give you like the Strong's assessment test or something like where you take an exam or some sort that's supposed to highlight the strong suits about yourself that would lead you into a corporation. You think about some type of office job or some type of whatever quote unquote career, but entrepreneurship was never really, pushed. It was more so get a job, go to college so that you can get a degree so that you can get a job type of thing, or else you're going to be stuck working at McDonald's or something. That was like the two horror stories, but they never talked about the people that started their own businesses, and which is what we do as barber and beauty professionals. We start our own businesses the moment that we get our license. So they didn't didn't promote that. They didn't promote becoming an electrician. They didn't promote becoming even a plumber. Like these people make good money, you know what I'm saying? But they didn't promote it. So yeah, I understand where you're coming from.
Yeah, some of that too is just, our parents, they didn't know anything about being entrepreneurs. So, all they knew was school and work. And if you couldn't get into college, you didn't have the money to get into college, then you were forced to be in the work field. Yep. Yeah. So by them being forced to be in the work field, they, would tell the kids, hey, look, go to college so you don't have to work as hard as me. But then now we're in a generation where it's like being an entrepreneur is possible and being successful at it is possible. So now we have different outlets and avenues to be successful and have a, live a good life.
Right.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah, the information was hidden back in the day for my parents, different older generations. But now social media and the internet, man, it's blew the lid off a lot of secrets that have been saved for the rich for a long time. But now here it is, it's being open and available for
not even just the rich, even just the working class. The working class has access to information that can change their kids. So I'm glad that barbers are doing, because like truthfully, like over the years, sometimes I felt embarrassed to be a barber. Just because people look down upon, like they'll say, like I've had to say if I'm dating, I've had somebody say, oh, you're just a barber. It's just, and then it's almost like I didn't like, see, now it's cool, barbers charging crazy amounts. This wasn't the thing 1999 and 95 and 94, and even the early 2000s.
Yeah, it wasn't like that till 2012 almost.
Something like that.
Social media came out.
Yeah.
I actually got a story, man. I got into it with one of my clients. This was like back in 2015, just because of the disrespect that he came. So he's a doctor, and we got into a little discussion, and he was like, got into a discussion about time. I was running a little bit behind that day, so I told him, I apologize for running behind. He was like, yeah, next time I'm gonna come late. I said, well, you should be able to understand, being that doctors are never on time. I don't care if you got the first appointment or not. He got mad about that. He was like, no, it's a difference. I'm a doctor. You just a barber.
Ooh.
Bro, I ain't gonna lie. I was hot that day. I was hot that day. Like the shop saw another side of me. I could be honest about that. But,
so you manifested. You manifested.
I didn't hold it in, bro. I didn't hold it in.
Please describe what happened. Tell what happened, bro. What did you say?
So after he said that I was just a barber, I kind of still was professional. It was professional anger. I'll say that. So I was like, man, look, after this, I'm not cutting your hair no more. You got to find somewhere else to go. It was some other stuff that was said too, but we moving on from that. I wouldn't have. Anyway, so
how would you have responded to that? I want you to finish your story, Delmar, but I do want to know how Joe would have responded to somebody that talked to him like that. You finish your story,
do that. Well, for me, like I didn't want to, because up until I got my first shop, I didn't want to blow up and go crazy in somebody else's shop. So I personally have had that happen. It's like somebody will say something like, "You're a barber," and I politely finish cutting them. We exchange it, but the next time they come in the shop, hey man, you got to go over there. Like you're no longer my client. Like I don't. One thing I don't do is disrespect.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
From anybody, from client, no one. So like for me, like, because believe me, you want to say, come on, man, like, are you kidding? Like that lets you know that people, even some to this day, still don't value what barbers are worth.
Right.
Yeah.
But even back, like that comment I would have had to hold it in and just kind of ran about it when he left, because I didn't want to blow up in the shop in front of other clients.
Yeah.
But it's like, man, that's really off-putting how somebody could really say something like, you're just a barber.
Yeah.
Like, and
right.
Yeah.
Barbers make much as doctors. So what, are you talking about the money? Are you talking about what I do for a living? Are you talking about the service? Like, what do you mean just a barber?
Right.
Yeah.
And we both need people.
Yeah.
We both need people. Like you need patients, I need clients.
Yeah. We are your clients. At the end of the day, like you get paid through the insurance companies that we're paying a premium for. So if you don't think you need us, you tripping.
Right.
It's go ahead with the story, man.
I felt bad because I don't like showing that side of me, bro. Like I'm pretty calm and collective, and I try to carry myself in the most professional manner.
I'm trying to visualize it, man. I'm trying to visualize
I know, because I've never showed you that side. I haven't had a reason to. But we were in my shop, my old shop, MVP. It was, me and Trey. So, we had two other barbers in there with us. And it was a Friday evening, bro. So it was a shop full of people. And I blew a head gasket, man, because like Joe said, I don't tolerate disrespect. I don't like seeing others get disrespected. I'm not going to tolerate disrespect. I don't like disrespect around me. So yeah, when he made that comment, bro, I was on 10 plus 2.
Right. Yeah.
So, but yeah, I had to fire him, needless to say.
Yeah. You can't fire somebody you never hired.
That's true. I got rid of him though. he was blocked like Mutombo.
Like, get that up out of here.
Yeah, he was blocked.
Now, this is my take on it, man. When people show disrespect, I haven't had it too recent. I can't even think of the last time that I've experienced it. But I think from like a conceptual standpoint, when I think about disrespect, the first thing that I try to see is, in what way did I give you permission to disrespect me? Because I feel like in some way, some shape, some form, I might have opened the door for you to feel that way. And I have to check myself to kind of see what I could have done differently to allow that thought process to plant a seed. And the reason why I say that is I'm a firm believer that I can cause you to think a certain way about me by the behavior that I carry, right? So the things that you consistently see, the way that I speak, the way that I consistently present myself to you will permit you to think a certain way about me. And so there's a difference between demanding respect and commanding respect. And so when I think about if a person of whatever stature said, oh yeah, you're just a barber, first in my mind, I'm already thinking that you're ignorant. Like not that you are stupid or slow of anything, but you just uninformed. You don't have the information on what a barber actually is. And therefore you look down on us as a profession because you don't really understand what's going on.
Right.
And so I would have looked at, I would always self-check and say, okay, well, how do I allow you to get on my schedule? Do I approach it from a business standpoint? Some people, they don't do it like that. They'll just see somebody in the grocery store and say, oh man, come hit me up. That's one way that you're going to get looked down on right away. If you try and get onto a doctor, you never talk to the doctor about getting on a doctor's schedule. But with us, we don't have that level of professionalism where they can't speak directly to you. Now, I'm not talking about you just get a booking platform and you just throw it to your booking platform and that's it. I'm saying that there should be a professional way in which you communicate, in which the client is able to reach you, and in which client is able to get on your schedule. And it doesn't look like, oh, I'm just talking to some dude or some girl or whatever. Like, it's like how we carry ourselves professionally allows someone to look at us professionally as well. But then you always going to have the person that operates in a form of ignorance, and they going to disrespect you no matter how you have your business set up. So those are just my thoughts. Go ahead, Joe.
I think some of that goes back to not almost like a hierarchy of needs. So I think people assume that need, like, can I put it? I guess maybe like medical, food, shelter, those things are more important than just getting your haircut. So a client, in their mind, they're like, you're just a barber, I don't have to come here. That's why I think that comes from. They're almost thinking like, I don't need you. But in reality, you really do.
Yeah.
Because like I can't tell you how many people have came to me in the last month because they had a big hiring at ExxonMobil about a month ago. No, probably about 2 weeks ago. I probably had 10 clients that interviewed for that job, and all 10 came and got a haircut. Separately, it was like, man, I got an interview at ExxonMobil. Oh, so apparently I am pretty important if you came to me first.
Yeah.
You didn't go get an outfit. You came get the haircut.
Yeah.
You're going to put your clothes on based on, so it's like people say stuff, but I think some of that comes from us not having respect for ourselves as barbers. But how many times do you see doctors on Instagram or social media making fun of each other? Like, like putting, like, there's one dude doing a haircut with Cheetos glued to somebody's hair, or you see what I'm saying? Yeah. Doctors don't have stuff like that. Lawyers don't have
clout chasing.
Barbers are clout chasing and trying to go viral, so we lose respect first, and then the clients will be like, you don't respect yourself, I'm not gonna respect. So a piece of it is what's most important in people's lives, and they think, okay, this isn't that important. The other piece is we have no respect for ourselves, or we are losing respect. Because I mean, every time I click on Instagram, I see barbers, with crazy stuff. And I saw the other day a guy was shaving the guy's behind.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, I did not see that. That did not show up on my feed. That did not show up on my feed.
The guy had two barbers. He was facing this way.
No, that did not pop up on my feed at all. I don't know what
I'm following, but it was in
Barbers Uncut.
Might be Lord.
Barbers after hours.
But my point is you don't see other professions doing that crazy stuff.
Yeah, that's
so like we lose respect for ourselves, and then the clients like, oh, barbers don't respect themselves. They don't respect their time. They don't respect job. You know, they don't respect my time. Like,
yeah.
And then it's a trickle effect. So like, and it's not for us barbers that care about being on time, smelling a certain way, being dressed a certain way. You know, it's the barbers that don't have respect for themselves, and the clients say, I got you. You don't respect you, I'm not gonna respect.
And what's crazy, what you're saying, Joe, is unfortunately that's the popular opinion of what our industry is.
Yeah.
You know, like that's what gets promoted in the movies. Is that barber, the person that is, you know, clout chasing or is not making sufficient money to pay his bills. You see like the movie Barbershop, right? Calvin was like the only one that had it together. Everybody else was like the broke old dude, the young dude that was a thug that came in later, or you know what I mean? Like it's like the way that they portray the industry is from a negative light, and therefore people don't respect it like they respect doctors or like they respect physicians of any sort. So it's like we're people like yourself that are doing more than what the normal is. We have to promote. That's how come we started this podcast. You know, it's trying to elevate barbers that are elevating barbers. And so as long as we're trying to do that as a small unit, I hope that at some point even the clients will be able to draw a line in the sand and be able to say, okay, I'm looking for the professional. Where is that person at? And then be able to easily locate them versus only looking at Booksy or only looking at Style Seed or the Cut app and seeing all of this drama and then trying to choose through the drama to find the person, but they still have this negative perception of what this industry holds. And it's a lot more than that.
See, I'm also a barber instructor, so I have my instructor's license. So one of the things that we teach at school is there's two professions in the world that touch people daily. I'm talking about physically touch them. That's the medical field and barber. No one else is allowed to. Like you can't go. Your electrician don't touch you. You know, when you go get your gas, the cash. Two people are that close to a person to where we're not even realizing that we're almost. I mean, because years ago we were the medical. We were the doctors. We were the ones that blood and everything, but we lost it along the way somewhere. It just came Instagram viral, getting client in and out the chair. No professionalism. It just changed, and I don't know what it is now. Because like, man, me and my partner TJ, we talk probably at least 2-3 times a day about seeing people that just want just enough. They don't want. Well, I take it back. They want this much success, this much effort.
Yeah,
they want this much effort in. So they'll see somebody making this much money and thinking they can put this much effort in. No education. They're not going to any classes, taking any continuing education, doing anything, listening to anybody, and they just realizing, man, I think I could make some money just by watching. I know barbers like that. When I was instructing at the school, I'm 20 years in. This guy, this first day at the school, telling me that he needs to see my Instagram page before I can help him. He want to see my work.
Wow.
Does that think about that?
Wow.
I'm a licensed instructor with the jacket on.
Yeah.
Right.
And the student telling me, let me see my work. I mean, this is a real situation.
Yeah.
And me and him laugh about it now because he me and him good, you know, but it was like, and I took offense for a second, then I realized like, man, that's like
ignorance.
And not that he was ignorant, but it was an ignorance situation where that we really think we know it all. Like we at 23 years in, I probably in the barber game, I probably am at 10. I probably got another 10 information that I can receive and probably still not be there.
Yeah.
And you thinking your first day at school, you asking me to see my Instagram page?
You're crazy. Yeah.
And you know what I did? I said, okay, and I just left him alone and went to somebody else. You know what happened again? Another guy told me the exact same thing.
Wow.
Lying. He said, I'm good. I don't need no help. Dude, you're 5 days into school and you thinking somebody, and truthfully, it don't matter what the craziest part is somebody doing something 20 years. I don't care if they get best or mediocre, they could teach you something.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't care if you're better than them physically cutting hair. There's something somebody that's 20 years ahead of the game can show you. Period.
Yeah. Period.
And it's just that the world thinks, oh man, I've been watching YouTube videos. I've been watching the guy cutting on YouTube. He showed me how to cut hair.
Yeah.
Okay, but he's not here. Let me show you here. You know what I can show you. But it was just like, you know. But the moral of what I'm saying is that some of us in the barber game, and that's my number one thing is that this is one of the industries that we don't have continuing education in. That it's not required.
Yeah.
It's not required. Yeah.
We have requirements like, because I'm a general contractor also, so I actually build houses. I have continuing education that I have to go to every year, keep my license.
Yeah.
Realtors have continuing education 12 hours every year to continue their license. Doctors, lawyers, nurses, anybody. My girl worked for the state. She got to go out of state to some classes every year, get refreshers on how to talk to clients, how to interact. Things are changing with the way people identify. I mean,
the laws, all of that.
Everything. The laws are changing, and this the only industry is you're a master barber the day you get out of school. Ridiculous.
Charging $60 fresh out of school
every year, and you're a master barber, and it's not required to be taught nothing. Like I was in Society Win, so my first shop was 18 years. Then I opened up my own shop after that. So I've been in my own shop 2018. So I guess 6 years now. I probably in those first 18 years, I started going to classes, but then when I saw the barbers around me wasn't going, and they was calling it lame. Yeah, you know what they did because they were 10 years older than me. It rubbed on me, and I was like, I ain't going to no classes, man. That's lame. But what are they gonna teach us? Right. And then you look up 10 years later, and these guys got millions of dollars and followings and this and that and education and this, and you still in the same place you've been in. Yeah. Because you think you know everything. So you because I left that shop because literally we started in 2000. Between 2000 and 2018, I probably went to two or three classes in that whole 18 years, and that was just kind of on my own. But man, one of the things I see is that you got to get around like-minded people for one, and if not, you got to move around. Yep. Find like-minded people, and if your current location isn't feeding you or your current circle isn't feeding you, move because you're gonna stuck like I did. See, like for me, we had more fun than we was doing business. It was just hanging out and we having fun and whatever. We get a bottle of liquor on Fridays, or we going to the club. We was focused on the wrong stuff, and I lost so many years playing when I could have just taken care of business. So that's just kind of where I'm on that.
Yeah. You was about to read the comment?
No, I was about to read something that I seen on that I reposted the other day on Threads, but go ahead and read the comment.
Oh, one of the people in the chat, they said the barbershop plays a vital role in our lives. It's where we go to relax, reflect, and refocus. For most of us, it's the only form of therapy. So just going to honor what you were saying, Joe, about the place that barbers hold inside of the heart of its client.
Yeah. And I want to say something to what Joe was saying too about how sometimes we can feel like I don't need to learn anymore. So I seen this post on Threads the other day and I reposted because it's a true statement. Person posted, most successful people move with this mindset, entitled to nothing, willing to learn everything.
Yeah. Forever a student, man. You're only in you have to have the heart of a student in life if you expect to continue to grow in whatever aspect of life you're in. It could be in barbering, it could be in real estate, it could be in whatever. But if you stop learning, then you stop living. You stop having your ability to live. You're just going to start to exist, and you're going to stop exactly where you stop learning at, like you were talking about, Joe. I remember being in a barber shop myself, and the environment was so it stifled your growth based on the environment that you're in. You have to put yourself in the right environment for you to be able to grow, and the people is a part of the environment. Also, what you expose your own mind to is also an environment. The things that you watch on YouTube, the things that you watch on TV, the books you read or you don't read, all of this exposes your mind. Your mind is the biggest environment that you're involved in. And so when you are living your life and you're not exposing yourself to new information in some way, shape, or form, then you're going to dwell and live in the state that you're in. You can't grow past what you've been exposed to. It's impossible. So what you're talking about is key, man. And I wonder if it's ever going to become a thing where continued education is a requirement. And because I know it's necessary from experience now. But one thing that I do know also about education is like the most benefit to education is your desire to want to learn it. Like if you don't want to learn it, it doesn't matter if it's required or not. You're not going to take it serious, and you're not going to comprehend it, and you definitely won't implement what you learn. Right. So go ahead.
I think a piece of it starts with the schools.
Mm-hmm.
And, because a lot of barbers are doing apprenticeship, but the ones that go to schools, some of the schools, and like I said, the one I worked at, I'm not going to talk about it, but man, it was not a place that you would assume. Because when I first got there, they had 70 barbering students, and I was like, cool, this is great. And then you realize that schools are only required to give you what you need to pass. Nothing. Yep. So in my mind, I would try to show more, and then they would tell me to, hey, pump your brakes, don't stick to chapter 1.
Wow.
That's it. So they didn't want me to go because it's not required. It's like they want you to pass the 90 haircut, do the all even haircut with the taper on the sides, the razor, the razor strokes, and nothing else. So it's like we have to realize that sometimes that we have to go to schools, and if we don't have the schools, we got to make the school that's going to be suit the next generation better, because you can't expect someone to know something if there's no education on it. Like there's very, very, very few YouTube videos talking about what we talk about right now.
Right.
The stuff that's popular is Barbers Gone Wild, or
Barber versus
the viral stuff.
Cool. Blurry Fades, Barbers Gone Wild, that's amazing. But you'll be surprised. I probably get most of my clients, and I'm talking about clients tell me, Joe, I love the way you cut, but I really like the ambiance and what you got going on. You're a great barber, but I like what you got going on. Because like for me is I try to cater to every client. So if I got a child in the chair, we on that level. If I got a guy that work in the plant, we on that level. If I got a guy that has a family, we talking about kids. If I got somebody that's a new job, we discussing that. So I'm saying is every barber, I'm trying to cater to every client differently, and that's stuff that's not taught. They're not teaching you how to cater to a client in the barber schools. They're saying do your 90, do this, clip over that, simple stuff, which is cool. But we need schools that's gonna go further, because I hear barbers talk these days like that, and it drives me nuts. And I hope that I'm not saying something to offend y'all, but whenever I hear barbers that are 19 years old and they'll say something, man, I got like 5 years and I'm gonna retire, and I'm 5 years, you're gonna retire within 5 years and have enough money, take care of yourself till you're 90 or 80. Okay, show me how to do that. Yeah. And then they say, well, the way y'all did it was wrong. Okay, well, show me. What I'm saying is we have a skewed view of barbering, like it can only be done for 2 to 5 or 10 years of your life, and you got to go into something else. That's my issue is doctors don't say, I only want to be a doctor for 10 years and then I'm going to go be an electrician in a plant. Lawyers don't say I'm going to be a lawyer for those are careers. Barbering is a career. It's not a hustle, and it's not a job. It's a career. Now you can do it for whatever period you want to, but it's a career. Something like, and the reason why we don't talk about doing it for longevity, because I can't speak for y'all guys, but I could count on my left hand how many barbers I know that actually retired. And I'm not talking about retired.
No, that's facts. Yeah, that's
I'm saying stop barbering and go work in the plant. I'm saying stop barbering and don't do nothing.
Yeah.
I don't know any.
Yeah.
I don't know one.
I had the pleasure, man, of working with one barber that he was working because he wanted to, not because he had to. But the way he was able to do that was because he was living off of the retirement that he got from like the military or something like that. Like it wasn't because he structured his life in a way that barbering could be his escape route. And I like what you were saying about how this is a profession that you can choose that will be long lasting if you have the mindset for it. Now, this is the only I actually speak about barbering not being a career. And the only reason why I say it like that, and because I understand like the term career usually depends on you saying that this is a choice for longevity. But the way that I talk about it is you're a business owner. Like I don't know too many business owners as well that open stuff to say this is going to be a stepping stone. Like you open a business because you see a future in this. Period. And just the same way that a person looks at a career, they look at a career from a future perspective. They're looking at, what this career can provide for them. What we don't have that typically get in careers is we don't get a typical retirement. We have to actually plan and do that stuff ourselves, or that we don't get paid time off, right? We don't get the vacation time that a person that typically would have a career would be able to get. But we have to plan, we have to save, and then we also really need to learn how to invest and how to get our money to make money for us while we're behind the chair, so that we don't have to stay stuck behind the chair. Like those are like small things that when you see the young people that are getting into the industry now, or even not even just young, but just new barbers, like when you see them get into the industry now, they're looking at it as a short-term operation, and it does not have to be that way. You actually will make more money if you commit long-term mentally. You'll start. The thing that people forget, if you're only thinking about money, money is going to be made by relationships. If you have relationships with people, then you have access to a lot more money, period. But people don't think like that, and they think like, okay, I'm gonna stack a little piece of bread or whatever, and then I'm gonna go and do my next thing. It's like if you understood the platform that you have as a barber, even if you were the person that was thinking strictly about money, you could leverage the relationships that you're able to build in this industry and go a lot further if you had a long-term mindset about this profession, about this business. So Joe, kudos to what you were saying, man. I just want to like tip my hat to that, because so many young barbers as well as new barbers, both men and women, you have to understand that this is something that you should choose for long-term success. Because if you come into it with a limited mindset, mindset, then you're only going to get limited results. And Joe is speaking about something way higher than that.
Yeah, I mean, you can do any and everything. Excuse me, I'm sorry, but you can do any and everything any other profession can do with inside a barber. Buy your house, buy cars, you can send your kids to the best schools, all that same stuff. But we think that this is something I'm gonna do for a few years and I'm gonna jump in another career. That doesn't make sense to me.
It don't.
Nobody.
It ain't logical.
No other career thinks that way. We're the only career that thinks. I had a. It wasn't an argument. We had a heated discussion.
A vehement discussion.
Yeah,
a heated discussion.
And the guy was sitting there telling me that, oh yeah, man, I'm gonna be retiring. And he was, I think he said he gave us, he might be maybe 25 or 26, and he gave himself 7 years. And I'm saying, okay, well, tell me, what are you gonna do? Well, I'm saying, so in 7 years, you're 26, so you, what is that, 31, 32? How are you gonna make enough in the next 7 years to set yourself up? And not that it can't happen, just like
explain it. Yeah, explain it.
And he was like, I'm gonna get some rental properties and some. And I'm like, okay, that's not.
So you're gonna have to save to get the rental properties. Yeah,
a lot of money. I'm 20 years in, and I got several streams of income, and I'm still not there to ready to retire yet. Like, and I'm not bragging, but I'm saying I have streams of income that I still haven't set myself up all the way just yet. I still got a few more steps to go to be able to just come off the clippers completely. Because as of now, clippers, and I'm not saying this that I wish it was different, but the clippers, I still rely on them to pay bills.
Yeah.
It isn't like I'm just cutting because I'm just having fun. No, it's a part of my income. It's a stream of income for me. So hopefully one day that I can, get things right so I don't have to. But I still need clippers to pay my bills for me. And it's not, you shouldn't be ashamed to say that.
Mm-hmm. There is no shame.
There is no shame.
What was you about to say, dude?
However you make your money, whether it's at a barbershop, grocery store, a law, we all the same, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, but barbers, like, we look down, that goes back to us looking down on each other or the career overall and not having respect. And we thinking it's a hustle and I'm gonna just do this for a few years and something else.
Yeah.
That burns me up because and then you'll ask them, show me the statistics on barbers that have retired, period, let alone in 6 or 7 years. Show me. And I'm not saying it can't happen. There's unicorns in every industry. I'm just saying, do you know
it's rare? It's
rare. And I don't know any doctors that can retire in 5 years. But lawyers that can retire in 5 years. That's not possible. Yeah. And I'll take it back. I'm not gonna say possible. It's not probable.
It's not probable. Yeah.
It's not probable that you can mess just necessarily with no information, no education, and somebody fresh out of school, is going to be just so good that you're going to just make it to the top in 5 years. Possibly, but we're going to see. Because first of all, he wouldn't let me show him nothing because he was just so, I'm not going to say the barber's name, but he wanted to be this big time barber. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I'm saying, cool, but first you got to learn how to cut hair. That's my whole, just learn how to cut hair first. Let me help you cut hair first. I'm going to be in such and such and cutting athletes. And I'm like, go ahead. So,
Yeah, sometimes you got to let people run into the brick wall, man, so they can feel like it hurt. They can realize it hurt.
Yeah. To piggyback off what you just said, Joe. So you take somebody who just getting into the industry, just got licensed, right? And you saying you can retire in 7 years. I've been in the industry for 13 years and I ain't close to retiring yet. You would have to ensure that you making a minimum of $100K a year to even be close to retiring in 7 years.
I don't think that's possible.
And on top of it being $100K minimum,
you got to save that.
That has to
save 75% of it.
The thing that you
invest 75% of it. Not save, investing.
Yes. The thing that we do not focus on in this industry, and this is as a whole, is the ability to create passive income. Mm-hmm. Like what we focus on is what we can do with our hands or our feet, like our body. Like that's the way that we see we making money. And that's like a mental thing. It's just like, okay, what can I do so that I can make more money? And that's like, and I'll be careful with how I say it, but it's the way that the rich people know broke people stay broke. Like if you're always looking at what you can do to make more money, you're always looking at your body and what your muscles can provide, then they already know you're going to stay at a certain level. Like you can only work so hard. You're limiting yourself based on energy, based on time, based on physical appearance. Like all of those things are limiting factors to you being able to make money. So if you can only make money off of what you can do with your hands, you already done. Like you already reached a cap. The next thing is you being able to manage others, right? So that's like the big goal for most barbers is I'm gonna get me a barbershop. And so they're like, okay, I'm gonna get me a barbershop, and then I'll give me that booth rent, and then that's good. And so that's like a small stream of passive income. And sometimes it's significant, sometimes it can be a little bit less than what you would prefer. but it is a bit better. You know, you go from muscle and then you get to management, but at the same point, you dealing with people still. So whether they get hurt or different things of that nature, now you're subjecting yourself to more people's physical labor, and then you have to deal with people and then all that issues and how that can damage your brand, all of this stuff, overhead, all of that. And so that's another way that you can make some money, but it's still, you got a cap on that. And then you got your mouth, right? And what you can speak. And if you can speak, like you're saying, being an educator, you can become a platform artist of some sort, and you be able to start to sell with your mouth. Then you can start making some money, and that goes beyond just what you can physically do with your hand, right? And then if you're starting to be able to tap into your mind and learn how to create things and learn how to invent things or learn how to produce things that people will purchase that comes from your brain, that's the highest level of whatever you can do. Is because now you're tapping into what people are talking about, like now, like your God sense, so to speak. Like your ability to create is a lot more valuable than your ability to do. So it complements what you're saying, Joe. Is like we can't get stuck. Don't get stuck looking at the labor, thinking that the labor is going to be the thing that's going to provide you your whatever you see. Young barbers, new barbers, we're not knocking you. What we're trying to do is open a door in your mind to let you know that don't try and skip steps to get to these riches. Understand what you need to do so that you can get to the riches quicker than what we are doing, right? We've gone through some stuff. You check Joe, like he said, he's been in the industry for years. If you listen to wisdom from them, from people like Delmar, people like Joe, people like myself, and you look at Chris Basio and you look at different other people that have gone to the dreamland that you want, listen to them so that you can learn how to expedite your growth and expedite where you're trying to go in your life. Because if you don't, and you think that you already know it based on YouTube stuff, oh, you're done. You're going to slow your own growth down.
Yeah. And I think, a lot of times in this industry, when new barbers are coming in, they look at the barbers who are already on the top, right? The big name people, the people who are on social media, got the hundreds of thousands of followers, and you see the results, but you don't see the work that went into, you don't see the effort that went into, you don't see the blood, sweat, and tears that was shed through that journey. You just seeing, oh man, this person is big, he got this, he got that, he got multiple streams of income, but you skipping the steps to try to get to where this person at. But this person didn't skip no steps. This person went through everything. This person failed. Person tried again. It's a lot that goes into trying to be successful in any industry, and you can't take shortcuts to get there. You can't just look at what a Joe is doing and say, man, I'm gonna be what Joe doing. I'm gonna be better than Joe. But you don't know what Joe went through to get to where he's at. Right. You don't know what Brad has been through. You don't know what I've been through, different ones. So if you new barbers watching this, please don't skip any steps. Like if you got somebody in your corner that's trying to teach you the game, I ain't talking about just cutting. They trying to teach you fade. They trying to teach you the industry and how to be business minded. Listen, take heed to it, because it's going to carry you. You're going to have longevity in this industry and you won't burn out easily. Yeah. But before we move into the next segment, I'm sorry, Joe. I just want to read this comment right quick that was posted on IG. Colors of My Mind posted, the barbershop has taken the form of a church. I've observed my brother embrace several roles like coaching young men, being a brother to men, and ministering to all. So I just want to read that comment. Yeah.
True. It is, and that's what it's always should. I think that's what it was. And then we lost something along the way. And then I hope one day we can get back to, so it's like, because the way I was taught, like the guy that cut my hair from 96, same guy that cut my hair now. And me and him have grown and talked, and I was a boy then and he was a young man, and we've grown, and now we're peers. So it's like I would hope one day that we can get back to the point to where we're back mentoring and we're back, because I mean, like in the chair, it's like a mutual respect. So clients are feeding me information, I'm feeding them information, and it's kind of escape. But then we got to the point to where it was, I want to go viral. I only want to blur fade, and I'm gonna treat the customer any kind of way. And then the clients started saying, y'all got to be out y'all mind. So you want to charge me astronomical prices. I'm late in the chair, and on top of that, you're rude, you're disrespectful, and I gotta man. One of the things, one of my clients, he went to one of these major cities. I'm not gonna say the barber who. He was like, man, I want to get a cut by this particular hot barber. So he went, got it. Cut was $150. He didn't care about the price. His appointment was for 1:00. He said he got in the chair at 2:15. This on social media is this guy's the hottest man, the best in the city. And he's like, said, y'all waited for an hour and 15 minutes.
Is this man a legend? This man is a legend?
Hey.
It's funny you say that, Joe, because I had the same experience.
I'm just saying, and I take it back. It wasn't a client; it was another barber. So he wanted to check him out and go see him. He said, and then it was no apology for being late. It was no, hey, nothing. Just come on. And I was like, that's crazy, bro. Like
That's
you just think
for sure.
I did the same thing. I waited an hour and a half for it.
Joe, you funny, man.
He just smiled.
Yeah.
When he started telling the story, I can relate because I went through the same thing. So I didn't know who he was talking about.
But I'm saying, but why is that? Why is that though?
Man, that's at Hollywood.
Feeling entitled.
That's Hollywood though. But but the craziest part is this particular person, if he really used his star power, think about it. Let me just give you a couple of examples. If that particular person had a barber college, a line of barber schools, a line of barber shops, he would put people out of business, but he would have to be a people person and more receptive to communication and but when you are this unicorn and you don't pop out and you don't show up to nothing, truthfully, you losing some star power to me. Like I don't think you are who you used to be just because you have this mindset, but you'll be surprised if you just turn some phone calls, answer some DMs, respond to people. How you doing? What's happening?
Just be kind to people.
You would put so much more money in your pocket.
Stay human.
You would put so much more money in your pocket if you just were a little more receptive to the people that's your peers. Because for one, I don't think nobody's better than the next. I'm saying if you cut 10 heads to make $1,500 and it take me 20 heads, we both made $1,500. You're no better than me because you charge $150 and I charge $75. What's the difference? Because if at the end of the day, if it's the money, or is it just because you got the followers, or because put you on this platform? I'm saying we got to cut that, man. Like, but this industry is so tore up to me that I can't even explain it. Like it's just that we are on. But you know what the sad part is, and I'm gonna say this, and I don't want to say this wrong. I think it's people that are my color though, because I get a lot of more help from other people,
from other ethnicities.
I do. There's some stuff that I'm trying to do on the next level of stuff, and I've called around to people that I'm thinking of give me an answer on it, and they didn't. Then I called around to some other people that are barbers, and they handed this information over like it was nothing. And it's not that I come looking for free information. I'm saying, how much do you charge? I would I want to sit down with you, and you don't even respond, don't even acknowledge, whatever.
It's gatekeeping. People be gatekeeping with the information. People gatekeep with strategies, with with different things that they do. They gatekeep, and it does cross ethnicities though. But there is something that has been planted in the seeds of the African American community just to be playing with it, where we will kind of like crab in the barrel mentality on accident. It's subconscious. It's like we don't even think about it as a whole. Sometimes you have to really educate yourself out of that thought process. So that you can see it and then stop it. If you don't see it, you just feel like somebody's always trying to take from you, and it's like no, like that's not it. Like if you learn to give, then you'll receive more. That's just the law of reciprocity. If you give, you will receive. Like it's natural, but we don't see it like that. We feel like, okay, if I hold, then I'll have, and it's like, okay, only you have, and you can only hold so much.
But try to take and go hide it into the ground instead of spreading among the people.
Yeah, you taking your talent and you digging it in the earth. Like that's a known parable by a lot of people, because you don't want to quote unquote hide your treasure. Then nobody has access to it, and sometimes not even you. But if you expose your treasure, then it can actually multiply. Different people can help grow what you have, and then sometimes what you have can help grow somebody else's stuff, and it's like, oh, we all win. But it's a mental shift for sure, man.
See, one of the other things is like how many barber shops interact with other shops, like as a whole. Like your shop was MVP. How many times did like y'all shops interact, or was every shop is on ecosystem? Every shop is on ecosystem. That's how I grew up, to where like your shop, we didn't. It's not that we hated y'all, but we just didn't fool with it. We didn't fool with them. We fooled with the 10 barbers in here, and that was it.
We looked at it. It was like that movie. It was like the movies, bro. Like they moving across the street. It's just like, oh, that's nappy cuts over there.
Yeah, exactly.
And when I was at MVP before I moved into the suite, a Royal Luxe grooming. When I was at MVP and people would come in and we would all be packed, right? Busy Saturday, sports event going on or whatever. I would send people to other shops that I knew barbers were in that I was cool with, because for me, it was never competition thing. I'm not about to get mad at you or, not be cordial with you, be cool with you because you cut in a different shop. I don't have that mindset. That's just me. Like, okay. And even if you didn't reciprocate it and send people back to me, at least I was doing what I knew to do, and I was being genuine because look, we full, we can't help you. You really need a haircut. Look, try such and such down the street. They might be open. They might be able to take you. Like I said, if it was reciprocated or not, cool. But I know I'm not about about to have anything, within me that's gonna be like, man, I'm hating. I'm not, like you said, Brad, the crab in the barrel mentality. Like that's just not who I am. I've never wanted to have that mentality.
That's good. But even if you are that way and you notice it, use this podcast to help you help yourself change. Because it's like sometimes you can't be mad at somebody for something that they always knew, right? Like that's all they ever knew. This is all they've known. Like if you've never been exposed to something different, you don't know how to think differently. So hopefully if you're listening to this podcast and you do notice yourself kind of like holding on to stuff that you feel like is yours, and you don't possess a client, can't possess them. They're not yours. Like they come to you, but you don't own them. So if you did have a relationship with other barbers in your shop or other barbers at other different shops, when you start to build that network, like we were talking about earlier, you start to share, then it will happen to you. Like because you're planting good seeds. It's natural. So it might not happen as frequent as you want, but you send 4 to a different barber. I guarantee you that somebody is gonna be like, hey, I know somebody that could hook you up. It's natural. Like it's just natural. So
Joe, so you mentioned earlier that you had your own shop, right? This was in 2018.
Yeah.
Or you still have your own shop? I'm sorry. And during the pandemic, I watched you, take on a project and open up some suites. Would you care to share with the audience about what put you in that mindset to go ahead and open up your own suites, and what's the name of your suites?
Yeah. Well, the name of my suites is called the Boulevard Salon Suites, and my barber shop is called the Boulevard Barber and Beauty. They're both located on Florida Boulevard in Baton Rouge. What made me do the suites was, well, for one, where my barber shop is at, I'm renting. So I was just doing the numbers, and I'm like, man, I'm paying him every month, and then on top of paying him every month, I've still got, lights, water, cable, blah, 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 all those other necessities. And I don't own anything but my chairs and the station. So I'm saying, I wanted to get something that I own. So during the pandemic, I just kind of put my head down, and while everybody was trying to figure out which way to go, I said, let me kind of see what's next. And I was seeing, since, I still think the next transition in barbering, well, take it back. I think barbershops are going to always be around, but I think sooner or later, as everybody gets into this, I want to own my own. I think suites are going to be, in the next 5 years, they're going to explode, and they're going to be more popular than ever before, because, like for instance, in my first shop that I was in for 18 years, and, no offense to them, but just say if we had one radio and the person that controlled the radio was the guy that was the oldest guy that had been there the longest, so he's playing music he liked. I like
listen to Al Green.
It's not even Al Green. It's Yo Gotti.
Oh,
what I'm saying, it's Lil Boosie or whoever it is, and
not Lil Boosie.
What I'm saying is he was doing things that he liked and not the client. It was, he was for himself. So it's like, for me, I wanted something that I could build to where people could build their own thing, cater to themselves, cater to each client. Like for instance, if I got a child in the chair, I might turn on Netflix or cartoon. If I got people in the chair, we might turn on sports. You know what I'm saying? Like I can cater to every client separately, and I'm not just playing Yo Gotti for 30 people that have to enjoy. And and it's like, and then I look over and I'll be like, man, they got women in here, and I couldn't repeat what he told me because it's crazy, but the mindset was like, hell with them people. It was almost like, they in my shop, like, I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do, and either you're gonna take it or leave it. So that kind of pushed me to where I was like, man, it's time to go. And I was probably 10 years past that. I stayed 10 years too long, but once again, I stayed because it was loyal and it was fun and we hanging out, all that. If you're not growing and you're not thriving, leave wherever you at, period. That's anybody. There's shops on every corner in every city. There's no need to stay anywhere that you don't feel that you're thriving in, so it's I just wanted something that I could have to where, and then I felt like I personally was cutting too long around other barbers. I kind of wanted to get my own thing and just kind of be in my own space sometimes. Just whenever a client is, running 5 minutes later, I just sit down and get quiet and don't say anything. I didn't want to have to hear a conversation on side of me from another barber and his client. Like I had 2 barbers in the barber shop at my shop down the street, and they're no longer there, but they was arguing over what type of cigars roll the best.
He got close to the camera, Brad.
Yeah, he had to get eye contact.
Cigars roll, man. I like the cigarillos. I like the backwoods. So I look at them like, they got 50 people in this place, man. Y'all can't wait to go outside. Like, what y'all doing?
Yeah.
And they didn't think anything was wrong with that.
Yeah.
We got somebody's first time walking into the shop, experiencing you, and y'all arguing over a cigar cigars.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, I gotta get out of
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
You
Help
know,
me
but it's
help
like,
you.
but it was like I've been coaching and talking for years, and some people just not gonna get it, and that's okay. And me, I always want to help everybody. I always want to be the guy that can fight for you and get you across that line and drag you. But it was like, you know, so well for me, I have a construction background, like I said earlier. So I'm a general contractor. So I build houses, work on houses. So I would say, well, let me go and work on my own building and find something that I can own. So I actually own the building that my suites are in. So I was able to finance a building and put me 18 suites. Plus, I still got an additional 5,000 vacant square foot area that I'm gonna do some additional things in. So I was just able to put me some suites in the building and then kind of grow my portfolio to get me closer to retirement. Because you know, you'll be surprised. The older you get, there is a peak in your barbering that it's not just skill level, it's gonna be desired. So I still have a desire to cut, just not like I did when I was 35, 25. So the older I'm getting, it's like my desire is coming down, and I only want to cut a few. Like I don't want to cut everybody anymore. I kind of want to pick and choose who I want to cut, which is kind of wrong, I guess.
Nah, it ain't. Don't look down on yourself for that. Nah, you've earned that.
But I don't want to be the everybody barber anymore. That's all I'm saying. I don't want to be the guy that you just pick up a phone or book me. I want to be particular on who I cut. So it's not that I never want to cut again. I just want to weed out probably 50% of my clientele and just want to cut this much. And then I think I'd probably fall back in love with barbering if I could get to the point to where it wasn't income. It was just, you know what I'm saying? Like it's just, I'm just here to have fun and just do what I love and keep up, just hone my skills. But right now it's still income. Yeah. So
it's earned income. It's not
active income. Nothing passive about it. So like Saturday, I probably cut, and I cut a lot. I'm the volume barber, so I probably cut Friday I probably cut 25 and Saturday 25. So 50 heads in them 2 days.
Man,
I can't do it no more, brother. My elbows and my knees ain't gonna allow it. I refuse.
I wish I could, but I have so much going on, and I'm trying to get to retirement fast. So it's like,
what caused you to purchase such a large property, and why? Because it's interesting to me that you would have. It sounded like you said like 21 suites.
Yeah, so it's 18 suites. So my building is 8,000 square feet. So
that's
3,000 feet is suites, and then I got another 5,000 square feet for something I'm working on that's going to really transform the city in the barbering space in about the next year. I'm still working on it. Like if the economy wasn't as bad, I'll probably move forward. But right now, I got to kind of put my brakes on that for right now. But I got some coming that I'm working on. But
so with the suites, do you feel that the suites plus the barbershop would get you the passive income that you need?
It could, but for me, it will still be too close comfort. Like for instance, if X amount of people leave, then I'm back. You know what I'm saying? Like for me, it's almost like I need a certain amount a month. There's an amount that I need a month, and the suites could get me there because, like for instance, I could right now it's like the suites, and then I got 3 other doors, so I could rent out, to a telephone place, to a restaurant, and then to a jewelry store. I could rent out to 3 other businesses, and that could possibly help. Yeah. But for me, I still want additional. Like right now, I have a house that's going to be on, and y'all might want to check it out too. It's going to be, I think maybe they're coming film next week. House Hunters on HGTV, a house I'm building. A house I just
you are a house hunter?
Yeah, I'm gonna be on House Hunters. Well, not me. My house is. They're not gonna show my face, but my house is. They're coming film on 11/11. What I'm saying is, but between all the things I have going with that, I can get closer. But my goal per month is so high that I wouldn't even speak on it because it's
no, it's all good.
But for what I need for me to be comfortable to where my kids can be in the best schools, I can make sure they're taken care of. I can make sure my daughter goes to college or whatever. Yeah. And is the suites can get me there and the barbershop can get me there, but I want probably 2 or more streams of income. Yeah. Because even here, I still have to promote. Yeah. I'm and so it's not passive. Even like down the street, I just went picked up 200 towels to go take them to the washateria for my barbershop. And that's cool, but I'm saying I want some streams that I don't have to touch.
I got a lot of questions for you.
I
got a lot of questions for you because I like what you're saying, and I hope for people that are listening online, on IG, as well as people that will watch this YouTube, is the level of 1 goal that you have, and then 2, the level of dedication to a plan that you have. Those are 2 things that are so uncommon for people that are in this industry to, 1, have a goal, but then 2, to have a plan to try and reach that goal. So you know the number that you want to reach. You know it. It's not a figment of your imagination. If somebody says, "Oh, how much do you need?" You could actually provide the number versus saying, "Oh, well, I just need some more." Like you're granular, and I love that because that will allow you to move forward. You will be able to make shifts, make changes, do investments that you can see will work, and it'll cause you to move forward faster than just operating out of emotion, so to speak. So I love that. The question that I really want to ask you is my phone over here tripping. What is your how do I want to say it? I'm trying to think of how I want to say it. So are you a one-man operation?
That's the problem. Yeah.
Okay. That's the root. That's the root to my question. That's the root to my question.
That's the issue. Like my friend, he tell me I have to come up off the helm and let somebody in. But it's like I like things a certain way. I like things to look a certain way. I like to smell a certain way. I just like things a certain way. So it's like I know to get to the next level, and that's the thing with this next business I'm doing. It's gonna bring in people to where I have to rely on others to get I'm not gonna get to my number on my own.
Yeah.
Like for my what I'm doing in about 3,000 square feet of that space is gonna really take me to that next level to where I don't have to do anything physically. I'm to where I can be who I like. For instance, I feel like I'm not my true self because I'm not able to do what I want to do. As in like for instance, I have to cut so much, and barbering is still a requirement. I can't be who I really need to be.
Do you have access, because you're a business person? Yeah, I can tell that you're not subjecting yourself to being a barber by itself. Your mental capacity is beyond that. Do you have coaching or business mentorship yourself, or are you able to? You've succeeded based on where what you've been exposed to, and you're kind of pushing through and learning as you go. But do you have actual people mentoring you at this moment, this stage of your profession?
I don't have actual mentorship and coaching, but I have other business owners that we see each other counsel daily. So for instance, I have I need coaching and I need mentorship, but currently it's just I might have a friend that owns a restaurant. I might have a friend that owns this, and we talk daily, bounce each other's ideas off each other. So that helps some, but that's been a reason too that I haven't gone to the next level because I have, pay, and then once again, education, the information and not paying for that next step. So for me, the next step isn't, but also too is even if I wanted to get that mentorship, I could get it, but I'm still 10 toes down in the chair so much. My thing is I got to come up off this chair some. See, that's my whole thing is to get to that next level. I gotta this chair right here that's behind me. I'm gonna have to
sacrifice one to get to the other.
I have to. I'm not gonna be able to carry everything with me to the next level.
But this is what I would challenge you to think about. I would challenge you to think about this is being able to do, because it's what I wouldn't want you to do is feel like you have to. And I know I'm a little bit younger and I'm trying to quote unquote give a little game, but this is just something I've experienced recently. So hopefully I can just share with you. Is not to feel like it's all or nothing when it comes to being behind the chair. Like sometimes we feel like we have to completely give it up so that we can do something else. But there's a difference with being able to learn how to gradually decline a little bit so that you can climb, right? So there's certain things that you could do with your time, with your energy, with your effort. And I know that you need the money from behind the chair, but if you had access to information that would be able to increase your money from behind the chair, or if you were able to increase your income or get you quicker to your goals, you should take the time to do that. Press pause, but get back to it. You know what I mean? Instead of feeling stuck to the chair, that's more mental than it is probably actual, because I'm sure you have more saved up and different things of that nature to where if you needed to invest in education in a way, if you had access to someone that could really give you some true game that'll shift your whole situation quicker, faster, and get you to your goal faster, I believe that you would be able to do that. And you wouldn't even probably have to take a whole, week off of work or a whole whatever. It'd just be small information that you might be able to get access to that would exponentially grow what you have currently and then put you in a fast position to get to where you want.
Right. That's good information. That's the key for me is I just want to get to where I need to fast point. It's not that, and I don't mean faster as in speed. I'm saying faster as in resource. So it's like, okay, so I I've gotten this far with myself, and I know I need to bring in people to help. I need to bring in people to do this. I need to bring in, and then I'll better get to my goal faster. So I'm all for the mentorship, even at 23 years. Like, and I'm not just talking about just on the business side, I'm talking about even on the Clipper side. I can still learn things. Like, I'm not above approach for anything. I'm open to all education from anybody. But once again, it's people that I know that can help. Sometimes, I mean, like even on the construction side, like I do some, for instance, I'm getting into some. That's what I'm saying. I got so much going on. Like on the construction side, I'm getting into some additional commercial work, and I'm calling friends I know that do commercial work, and they don't have the time of day for me. I'm talking about these guys are 10, 15 years in, but they won't help. Yeah. So it's like, what and who and does it take to get to, you know, that next level? So it's like, is it paid information? Is it going outside of my circle? I mean, where is this information at? Because it's like, people, I would assume, I got friends that's been doing what I'm looking for. That's the easiest route. They don't give it to me, or they don't help me get to that next level. So it's kind of like,
and on top of that, what's interesting, man, sometimes the people that you are familiar with, they may be good players, but they're not good coaches. You know what I'm saying? Like Jordan, very good player, but he was a horrible coach. Like, he wanted to do for you what he could see in his mind, but he couldn't tell you how to do it. He couldn't bring the best out of you outside of playing with you, you know? But it's very difficult to teach someone how to fish. It's harder to do that. And you know, you want to get yourself in circles where people are used to doing that. They're used to bringing the best out of other people, seeing people's strengths, seeing people's being able to analyze it from an outside perspective, because people that know you, they're going to give you things that they may even feel like you want to hear versus giving you the honest truth. You know, they'll tell you, oh yeah, Joe, you know, I know what you mean, because they'll assume that they understand what you're saying, and because they've done something that you want, they'll give you something that they think you want versus giving you something that you actually need to actually propel you, move the needle. So yeah, I might have a resource for you, my friend.
Okay. Can y'all hear me? Look like my screen's kind of.
Yeah, you do. Look
froze up a little bit. We can hear you though. You ain't got T-Mobile, huh?
No, man, I got Cox. So
oh man, Cox just as bad.
I'm gonna press pause on the recording real quick. And are you back?
Let's see. Hold on one second.
I see him moving in real time.
Yeah, it looked like he's getting better.
Yeah, I had a phone call come through. I think it kind of disrupted.
That's probably what messed it up.
Yeah.
I'll come through on my phone, and then
is it connected to your laptop?
Yeah, it popped up on my screen.
Yeah, you moving fine now.
Yeah, you good now.
Y'all can see me because it looks like I can see one of you guys. Okay, hold on. Hold on. Let's see.
Oh, you froze again. All right, man. So I'll definitely send you the information that I have access to, and we'll connect after the podcast. Sure.
Sounds good. Can't wait to link up with those guys and see if they can put me in the position where I can come off these clippers.
I got you.
Joe, I do got one more question for you.
Yeah.
Have you ever thought of shutting down your shop and you just operating out of one of your suites?
Well, right now I cut in the suite.
Okay, you do cut in the suite.
Yeah, I cut in the suite, so the barbers are down there by themselves. So it's just,
okay.
Yeah, so I am. Yeah, I am in the suite right now by myself, so I love it.
Okay.
I wouldn't trade it for the world. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah.
Just having a peace of mind and my own vibe. It's nothing like it.
It ain't.
I love it too, man. Like, I've been in my suite for a year now. I had, me and Trey was co-owning MVP for, I want to say 7 years before I left. And I do miss the feel of being in the shop because we, kind of created a brotherhood amongst us. But like you said, man, just, being able to create your own vibe and, then your clients, they get more personal with you too. Whereas when they're in a shop setting, they just kind of quiet, reserved. At least mine were. Right. But now they talk to me. I got people calling me therapists. So, but I love it though. I love it. I don't even know if I can go back to cutting in the shop unless it was like with Brad, because we was destined to cut with each other like 10 plus years ago.
And one of the barbers want me to come back to the shop just because, to an extent, I got two young guys that's like 18 and 19, and they need mentorship. And it's like I kind of need to be there for that, but it's also, once again, that's one thing holding me to the Clippers again. Like I grow because like how can I pass a torch and still be who I want to be for myself at the same exact time? Like I can't get where I want to be, and I still gotta, hey man, look, let me show you how to do this fade. Let me talk to you. Like some of the stuff, most of the stuff I picked up from barbering, I picked it up just by watching. Like nobody actually said, Joe, do this. I saw one of the OGs at the shop interact with his clients, I said, I want to do that same thing. I saw one of the guys that was really good with the Clippers and said, I'm gonna do that. Like I never just was like taught, hey Joe, whenever you talk to your client, make sure you greet them. I just saw one of the guys that was 20 years ahead of me greet everybody in the shop, and I said, that's what I need to do. It's that simple, but it was like the barbers these days need a tutorial to say, hey man, do you know you got to speak to your client every day?
Gotta hold their hand.
Gotta hold their hands. Like
hold their hand.
Make sure you say good morning. I'm talking about to your own client.
Right.
Yeah.
They'll sit in the chair and there's no talking. Hey, what you getting? Fade. Okay.
And see, at that point, it's just transactional for them. Yep. They haven't learned to, like Brad said earlier, build those relationships. I was like you, Joe, like when I got into a shop environment, you didn't have to tell me, hey, speak to people. To me, that's just common courtesy. It's common sense. You know, you see people walk in the room, you greet them, you acknowledge them, speak to them. And I even did that with people that wasn't my clients.
Yeah.
You know, and I would even engage in conversation with them, you know, just so we familiar with everybody in the shop. And like you said, man, some of this stuff is just common sense. Like, why do I have to tell you, hey, speak to people, you know, and treat people when they come in? What? Yeah. Like, you don't want to build your own business? Like, I wanted it bad enough. Like, you didn't have to tell me to do certain stuff. It was times where I was slow. I didn't have anybody. Hey, look, go tell the shop owner, hey, look, I'm coming back. I'm going to the store. I'm going to pass out some cards. Yeah. That was just me. I was on YouTube watching videos. I was working on my tools, trying to learn the ins and outs of the tools and how they work. Okay, if this happens and they break down, this is how I, you know, take the thing apart to fix it. You know, just little things like that. Like just learning my tools and just going and show face to people just to say, hey, look, I'm such and such. Hey, I cut at this shop, you know, come, you know, now we got appointments. And then people rely on simply appointments now. Like they don't even try to go introduce themselves to people. Like sometimes I still go do that. If I'm in the store and I see somebody with a nice cut, hey man, you know, that's a nice cut. And then we just engage in conversation and I'll give them a call or give them my website or whatever. But just, I don't know, I'm old school.
No, what you're saying is old school. What you're saying is old school, but it's the right school.
Right.
Like,
principles.
That's business principles, but it what you came in like right before
the game changed.
The game changed, bro. And where people are looking at social media as the benchmark of what, you know what I mean? Right before booking platforms became popular, you know, where people are saying, oh, find me online, you know, or book me on Booksy or book me on, I should not have said their name, but book me on whatever booking platform it is, because it feeds the entitled mentality that we've been talking about this whole episode, where you feel that like clients need you more than you need them. And they feel like, oh, okay, well, yeah, you know, I'm the best, I'm the hottest in the city, I'm the whatever. And it's like, yeah, but you need people. And the best way to keep people is to be a person, right? Yeah. Be a person. Don't be
if you could cut or not, just be a person. Be human.
Be human, man. But we like you said earlier, man, some people go Hollywood and they not even qualified to even act Hollywood. Like you're not even qualified to act Hollywood. You're common. You common like everybody else, and you think Hollywood because you look at Instagram and you feel like this is what you're supposed to be, or you look at YouTube and you feel like this is what you're supposed to be. And like Delmar said earlier, these people have reached a level of success that you have to work towards for you to even be able to have the same energy. Like you can't have that same energy. You have to have a different energy if you want to get there, because they didn't start off where you feel like you starting. They didn't start in the same place.
And it's almost like the most common thing that I think in the industry right now is everybody can cut hair. Like, I mean, to an extent, there's some people that are real, I'm saying, but everybody can cut hair. Like everybody. Like I rarely see crazy, horrible hair. Rarely. I'm talking about in real life, not people trying to go barbers going wild. I'm talking about, but so what's going to separate you from
barbers going wild?
Barbers going wild, and you know, but I'm saying, but what's going to separate you from everybody? If everybody can cut hair and they walk into the shop and we all are equal, what's going to separate you is, hey, sir, how you doing? Good morning. How can I help you? I know people that have looked you in the eyes and said good morning, and they have said like, are you okay? Like, like does that hurt, or like, are you?
Yeah, was that uncomfortable? Like,
some people might not be sociable, but I'm saying, but you're in a sociable business.
Yeah,
a business that you have to speak and interact with.
Now, Joe, let me ask you a question.
Work on a computer somewhere and work online from home if you don't want to speak. This is business I gotta.
Joe, let me ask you a question, Joe. Do you think Delmar is the Delmar that you know now? Delmar was an introvert, bro.
I'm still an introvert.
I can tell. I can tell.
I can't tell no more, man.
But you got to get out of that shell, man. You got to come out of that shell, because you'll be surprised the clients that really just want to talk to you. They got some clients that are sitting in the chair and don't say anything, and then they got some clients that won't shut up. You know,
They have a conversation by themselves.
I ain't said nothing, but okay, I'm just one of them days for me. But they talking, I'm just listening. But I'm saying, but you got to be able to talk to your clients, man. And some guys I know don't say anything. Talking about like, how you doing? You gonna taper? No, you know, they ask them what they want about the haircut, and the conversation is there. You know, but it's like, and that's cool. But that's because barbers think it's just about the haircut. It's past that. It's the experience of the haircut. You know, the environment. It's you. It's everything. You know.
Yeah, you're right.
One of these days, I hope we'll get it. One of these days, I hope education matters again. One of these days, I hope that us, as you know, some of the older guys in the industry can, because like, if you don't have a lot of followers, or if you don't have a big social media, people don't listen. People not gonna listen. You know, you have nothing to say to me because you only got 5,000 followers. I can't hear you. You know, that don't like, followers don't dictate the amount of money in your pocket.
No,
got that right.
Because the guy that cuts my hair, he's 47. He's been cutting my hair since 1996. No Instagram, no Facebook, never been on social media. He owns 18 rental properties, and he's building 3 houses in Monticello subdivision as we speak right now. No social media. So you're saying that he can't teach you something?
Right.
So he took barbering, the money from Clippers, and ran it up, but he don't have social media, so you can't listen to him.
Right.
We have it skewed, man. Business is skewed.
Yeah.
And I think that's not that. I hope that's just our community. I don't think that's everybody else. I think that's just our community. We think when you know, people are liking your pictures and reposting you, that you're important. You just cut real good hair, bro.
Yeah, social media.
That's it.
It's social media.
Walk in that shop and you'll see them on their phone with their feet kicked up on a Friday. In real life. People ain't making no money. And this is from me knowing, I'm somebody, I have had clients that have went to the such and such barber, and they be like, "You not went in there, but he ain't have nobody in the chair." And I'm like, "Oh, but it looks from the social media that he's making $17,000 a month." It looks like.
And I think we have to learn how to separate the experience and the service. What I mean by that is, especially if you're in a setting like us, you are the experience. You are what the client sees. You set the tone for your shop, the environment. You set what they hear. Like Brad always telling me, 5 senses. We touch all of that. I mean, I don't know if you offer snacks or whatever, but we touch all of that in some way.
And then the kids eat too many of them. But hey, one per child. I almost want to tell one per child, bro.
Right. Right. This ain't Costco.
Sample sizes up.
So when people get on these booking platforms, or when they reach out to you via your website or your business email or whatever, they're booking the service with you, but they don't know what type of experience they're about to get. So you could go to somebody who gives you an excellent service. The experience is bad. You could go to somebody who gives you an excellent experience and the service is okay. Guess who's going to win? The customer's going to, they're okay with dealing with the okay haircut and the excellent experience because it's something that they remember. It's something that they want to be a part of. They find value in you. Brad, you always talking about that, finding value in your barber. Like you said, Joe, a lot of people could cut hair. You can get on social media. Just in our area, we in the Baton Rouge, Gonzales area, there's not too many people who can't cut, bro. Just being honest. Everybody can. But what sets you apart is the experience that you give your clients, the experience you give your customers.
Yeah. And that's one of the things that I actually speak about a lot, heavily, because it's such a mystery almost. People use the word experience, but they're talking about they cut. They be like, "Man, my cut is fire. You know, come get this experience." And when you like ask them, like, "Okay, what's the experience?" They be like, "Man, my cut. Like, what are you talking about? Like, I shampoo you." They like, that's a service. That's still the service. But really being able to distinguish the difference between an experience and the service is a huge nugget, man. That was a big nugget that you said. And another thing to add to that is that the experience starts before they even get to you. Right? Like the experience. This experience starts before they ever walk into your shop and experience who you are as a person. They're going to start experiencing your business from the first way that they get contact with you, whether that be a referral, whether that be a Instagram post that you put out, and however they start to go to find to book you, however that process is still their experience with you. And so if that is not seamless, if it has kinks in it, and if all of that comes into you, and then you got a bad attitude, and then you running late, or then your place don't smell pleasant, or you smell like weed, it smell like something else going on in the shop. All of that stuff, it all adds to the fact that they like, okay, the cut was cool, but I'm gonna keep searching. I'm gonna keep looking until I can find the complete package. Or you gonna find people that actually enjoy that lower value, and you gonna stay stuck at a certain amount that you could charge because you're providing the environment that only a certain caliber can afford.
Yeah.
So,
and see, one last thing is you can't assume because a person is black that they like what you like. If you keep that mindset that anybody that walks in my shop, the first time client, I don't assume just because they black that we are both Democrats or we're both Republicans or we're both. I don't assume anything about anyone. Oh, he's a black man, he's a Democrat, or he's a black man, he likes this. I don't assume anything. So once we talking, and I see where they at, then I kind of base how I'm gonna move based off of things that they say. You know what I'm saying? But it's like for me, it's like clients will tell you what they need just by just listen. But if we're not having a conversation with our clients, then you're coming in and you don't even allow me to tell you what's wrong. What reason why I came to you? My number one question is, you mind me asking why for one, how did you find me so I can do more of that? And then number two, I want to know like why did you choose me? Like, or what's going on with your hair? And then they tell you what's going on. But last guy don't listen to me. He does what he wants to do to my head. There we go. Now I got to take his haircut slow. So it's kind of like the experience is going to be based off of what the client needs, based off of
tailor-made.
It's just tailor-made to everybody. Like it's not cookie cutter. So that's kind of my little two-piece just to give to the new guys is tailor-made. Every client is different. Everybody doesn't like rap. Everybody doesn't like R&B. Everybody's not Democratic. Everybody's not Republican. Kind of keep your personal things to yourself. Meaning, like, for instance, I don't put on certain news in the chair that might be one-sided for a client to, because that might run a client away. Like you walk in Walmart and just listen to what you hear. You're not listening to rap. You're not listening to
it's neutral.
It's just a neutral music. Either it's just like you go in Dillard's or somewhere like a Macy's. It's just like an instrumental, and nobody's never walked out of a shop and been like, man, I didn't like the instrumental music they played. But somebody has said that rap music was crazy,
too vulgar, whatever.
I guarantee nobody's ever left the shop because of instrumental, easy listening jazz. Never.
Yeah, but like I hate that environment, man.
It was so
always soothing.
Man, I was so relaxed. Nobody said that.
I was so comfortable.
People do leave behind you trying to make things too personal for you. I'm catering to the client. I like client like. Personally.
As they say, if you like it, I love it.
I like it. You want to sit back and you want the music real low, man. We're gonna get cut up. You want to be quiet today? You want to talk today? It's whatever you need because they're paying me for a service. It's not about you, barbers. It's not about you.
It's about them.
It's about them.
Ain't no show without them.
All you gotta look is Chick-fil-A and McDonald's. McDonald's has
not McDonald's. Not McDonald's.
No. Listen.
You comparing the two? Okay.
McDonald's does not cater to their clients.
No,
but they thrive because they're just in front of us and it's easy access. That's what barbers. I'm gonna still make money because I'm McDonald's, and I'm gonna still be around because I'm available. But the people that get raved about for customer service, great food, great this, greeting at the door, as many condiments as you need. That's a Chick-fil-A model. And not saying you got to be a Chick-fil-A. I'm just saying you would want to cater yourself to where them people are around and doing the numbers they doing because they cater to every single client. Everybody. They ask you your name whenever you hey, Mr. Joe, how you doing? Such and such. And that's making it more personable. And now you getting attached to them thinking, well, these people really like me. They don't.
So
they
Joe,
money,
with what you just said, that's how I got into the industry and started moving how I was moving. I did look at other barbers. Brad was very influential to me in different ones, but I always went with the mindset of look at what other successful businesses do. Chick-fil-A was always one of my go-tos. Like you just said, they learn your name, they call you by name, like you said, they give you as many condiments or whatever. Like they might be a little higher than McDonald's, but I'd rather go to Chick-fil-A because my experience is always good every time I go there. My food is always hot every time I go there. I don't have to worry about having lukewarm fries. I bite into a fry and the fry is 2 degrees, or ain't got no salt on it or whatever. But like you say, just, we have to contribute to, or not contribute, but we have to tailor make the experience to the customer. Because at the end of the day, it ain't other barbers paying us. It's the client that's paying you.
Yeah.
I don't know about y'all, but I don't have any barbers as clientele. I mean, every now and then a coworker will pull up or something, but like this influx of 30 barbers.
I got one. He real cool dude though. He come every Tuesday.
Well, that's what I'm saying. But I mean, you know what I'm saying? But outside of that, it's just regular workers that want our service.
Everyday people, yeah.
One of my friends, he used to work at Roof Chris. He said that one of their models is after you book times with them, like your wife's birthday, book your anniversary, they start to remember and they watching, okay, he likes steak such a way, he likes a Grey Goose double shot. Like, so when I picked up on that. So the first few times I went, you know, I'm new there, then they started to remember and they got you in the system. Hey, Mr. Joe, you want your double Grey Goose with pineapple again?
Yeah.
And next, you know, so whenever your clients, think about it, how many of your clients actually get the mirror?
Right.
Mhm.
After a while, you just started to learn them. You start to, okay, well, look, trust me, they know what I want, and it's just, we're gonna knock the thing out. We don't have to. That's what barbers are getting into the point to where it's not personal.
Yeah.
It's just, I'm charging you $75 and that's it.
For the transaction.
It's just a transaction. That's the McDonald's effect. You're gonna still make money. And because one of the barbers, when I told him that he brought up a barber that charges more than me with 100,000 followers, he said, well, such and such do that, and he be smoking, and he, you know, and I'm just like, well, that doesn't make it right.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, just because he's thriving, but that's our excuse. There's a guy that charges more than you with more followers, and he's making money. So why I gotta listen to you to do the right thing? He's making money doing the wrong thing.
Yeah,
that's like a child mentality. You know, like
for them, it's literally about the money and doing what they want to do versus like the integrity behind how you get your money. You know, it's a difference. But what's crazy on top of what you guys are saying is the mindset towards customer service and towards this industry is once you lose the ability to be a person, you really lose the ability to actually be a barber. You're not a barber no more. At this point, you're doing something different and you just cut hair at the same time. It's a different approach. And
we got a lot of haircutters in the industry.
Yeah, a lot of haircutters, but not the barbers are getting drowned by the haircutters. The influencers are people that, you know, they influence, but they don't really create impact for the client. You know what I'm saying? And here we are, we're different barbers, and there's a lot of us too. We just not as exposed. We're not as exposed, but people that are trying to actually make an impact, you know, on people's lives. When they come in, we trying to change their day for the better. If it's good, we want to make it great. If it's bad, we want to make it good. Like, we're trying to create impact for all of the clients that come sit in our chair. Where barbers in today's society, the Instagram, the social media world, is strictly about get the money, you know, get the money, charge a high rate, or just do a whole bunch of cuts and still get the money. Like, it's still about the money at the end of the day. When you really understand business, it's really about being a benefit to the person that's going to pay you, and that is going to bring you the money. Like, you will be able to charge higher rates by nature. It's going to happen by nature, especially if you start to understand how to look at this as a business and not look at it as a transaction, because it's two different things. Like, business is about relationships. It's not about the transaction when you really understand business. But so many people get those two things confused and feel like I need to be about my money, and that's not the business though. Like, that's not how business is made. That's the result of you conducting business.
One example, Brad.
Different.
One example that come to my mind. You have two different type of people that go to the bank. You got one person who always make transactions, and you got one person who builds a relationship with the bank, and they're able to get loans, able to get this, that, and the third. They're able to get all the perks. Why? Because they don't just come in, deposit, or withdraw. They come in and build that relationship, and that bank trusts that person with this relationship.
Yeah.
See,
drop the mic, huh? That was a drop the mic moment.
Yeah, that's exactly what I do with banking. I try to, like, for instance, just to give another nugget, like, I chose a bank that banker knows my name, opposed to going to like a Chase. Chase, you're just a number to them. You don't mean nothing to them. What I'm saying is that's the purpose of just like to get off, just not changing the topic, but just to add to what you're saying. Having that situation with the bank is the same with clientele. Like, you want to get to know your clients. The banks know me. Hey, Mr. Joe, how you doing? Anything going on? They're gonna call you personally. That's gonna build you along. They got guys that I've been cutting. I started cutting the dad and his son, and now I'm cutting the grandson. So I still cut a father, grandfather, guy that was his son, and now his son. 3 generations that I'm still cutting from 23 years. Yeah. And all they've gone is to me. So these people have given me income 23 years straight, a family. Yeah. And who knows how many people they referred me to just off of building relationships. Like, if a client tell me they was going for an interview this week, when they come next week, how did the interview go, man? I'm trying to remember that. How was your interview last week? Everything was good? You got married. How did it go? You got engaged. How was the party? You going to school? How you doing? Yeah. You know, it's just that type of stuff is what we don't get taught in school. So another thing that's important is reading rooms. Like, whenever, for instance, I remember when I was first getting in business, business in barbering, and I wasn't as fast, and I had a client or two waiting, and I could read their body language and see that they was getting upset.
Yeah, yeah.
But us, we don't. You can't tell when your client is maybe getting frustrated or something going on. You just taking smoke breaks, and you see this client is turning red. And like one of my barbers, and he not there no more, but I'd be like, God, man, I gotta smoke. When? You talking about in between with a client in the chair?
Yeah.
That's how that work, man.
Yeah.
Think about if somebody was making your food at a restaurant,
Right.
they just walk off.
Yep.
They were pouring water in your glass, and they just stopped midway. You know what? Let me take a smoke break right quick. I'll be right back.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, come on.
Putting your fingers under my nose, smelling like burnt weed.
And
Yeah.
I'm saying, wash your hands, bro. Cologne on this, but that stuff is not taught. Those are the soft skills and the skills that the school that I was at thought wasn't necessary to the students. They thought read out of chapter 1, and that's all they need. Show them how to do that 90, and that's it.
Yep.
Nothing. So it's like those type skills is what take you from being a regular barber to one day being able to retire and being able to just grow.
Yeah.
Man, it's so much money that can be made. It's like when I started at my shop in 2000, adult haircuts were 12, kids haircuts were 10, and the hairline was $5. And when I tell you we went from 12 to 15, people lost their mind.
Yeah.
$3.
We went from 15 to 20, they lost their mind even more.
Yeah.
20 to 25, they was out the door. And think about it. I got guys coming into the game, 18 years old, they $45 on the street.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, you don't even realize it. And then they complaining. I'm like, man, you 2-3 heads, you're up.
Yeah.
Your boyfriend is paid with 4 heads, and you complain.
I had to cut 10 heads and make 130 back in the day.
Man, I had to cut 100 heads to make $1,000 in a week.
Yep.
Talking about working.
Yeah.
Cut
Yeah.
100 heads now. See if your body don't need to be go put.
I can't do it.
You're gonna need a chiropractor and a masseuse.
Yeah, I can't
Believe
do
me,
it.
you'll be beat up. And these
Yeah,
boys,
you will.
like we're so entitled, man. Entitlement has taken over, bro. Like we just arrogant, we entitled. We figure we got all this. I don't get it, and I'm glad I'm almost on the way out. I don't want to see what these new guys. I do because sometimes I sit back and be like, one of the barbers down the street, he told me he cut like 20 heads one day, and I was like, boy, this one was really good money. Yeah, man. I'm really trying to go up. Really feel it. I'm like, dude, you made what I made in a day. What I used to make in a week, and you did it in a day.
Yeah.
You're arrogant, man. Come on now. Like doctors don't necessarily make that kind of money, man. Nurses and you're making doctor money.
Yeah.
Truthfully, if you can maintain this, they got nursing assistants and physicians assistants making the money you making, and you don't gotta cut nobody open and go in nobody hospital
And almost cause somebody to lose their life.
yeah. Come on, man. Come on back down at the high horse and realize that we're doing well for ourselves, man.
Yeah.
You really are. Like if you started, like you say, $13.
Yeah.
Delmar, $13 for a haircut.
Yep.
I'm talking about razor line, beard, shave. They want you to do
Everything. I'm talking about the works.
the works.
$13.
And then
Mohawk, all that.
everything. $12, man.
Yeah.
A
That's
kid that won't
ridiculous.
sit still for $10. Okay. But it's like, I don't know. I just
But it takes that type of passion, Joe, in my opinion. It takes that type of passion to be able to create the impact that we want to see. Because it's one thing to feel that, and then you escape, but then the other generation of barbers that are coming up that do look up people like yourself, that do look up to people like Delmar, and have the mindset or the desire to be good in this industry and be what they've always expect barbering to be. Because it's like a rude awakening when you get into the industry and you realize that so many people are like out for themselves and don't really want to help you grow and don't really want to help you. It's like, oh, for real? And then you have to like adjust and adapt to that. But there's quality people like yourself, quality people like Delmar, like myself as well, that want to help. We want to give you the game. We want to be able to put you in a better position than we were when we got in the industry. And it's these type of people that you got to reach out to, but it's that type of passion that you have, Joe, that'll actually pierce through the noise and allow the person that wants to know to find it. It's just like, oh, finally somebody's saying something, and so hopefully this podcast is like a beacon of light for those people that are trying to elevate. They are trying to get to another level of barbering or beauty or business, whatever they're in. They're trying to grow, they're trying to develop, and they'll hear voices like yours and hear voices like mine and Delmar's and be able to say like, you know what, I'm gonna try and follow them. I'm gonna try and follow them because now we're a light to the freedom that they may see. So that's good. I appreciate your passion.
And I appreciate you guys, man.
Yeah, I think that's a beautiful note to end on.
I got one more question though.
Oh, you got one more question?
Oh,
I
let's
got
go.
one more question.
You got a question. I got a request, Joe.
Okay.
Go ahead,
I got a
Brad.
question.
Okay.
So this is my last question. This is still that's like dear to my heart. Delmar know what I'm about to ask, but so I have a question. This is a good question, Joe. I don't know why he doing that. I don't know why he exposed his hairline like that. Okay, so my question is about one of the heartbeats of the industry, and that is booking, right? So booking appointment. What is some pros and some cons that you feel like have kind of come with the whole online booking world that we have? What are some pros and then what are some cons? And if you were to be able to improve the booking platforms, and I don't want you to name any names if you don't have to, but just suggestions of improvement that would add value to what that experience is for either yourself as the barber or even what your clients go through and how it would be a benefit to them. So what do you say to that?
So my first 17 years, it was all walking. I didn't get on a booking app until like 27. So I wasn't in on it early. So I jumped in, I guess I'm assuming I was late. I don't know which year y'all started, but I started like 2017. One of the pros is clients can book 24/7. I don't have to talk to everybody or stop. That's the best thing for me is like clients, like I have guys call me, look, you working Saturday? I don't see nothing on there. I'm like, of course I'm working, bro. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Booked.
Yeah.
Right.
Tuesday, it's right. Like, I'll see you Tuesday, bro. It's like, but for me, having not to talk to every client, for me, that's a blessing. That alone is the key. But one of the cons to it, I would say is I don't control who books. Like anybody can just get on there and just choose me, and I don't get to see if that's a client I want or not. Because they got some clients sitting in the chair that are bouncing around from barber to barber, and I don't want that client. Like they got some guys that go see Delmar. Like I've seen guys he posting have been in my chair. And then TJ was like, I cut him. So like I cut him. And it was like, dude, what you doing? I don't want you. Like I will block you if I do, you know what I'm saying? But it's like I want to be able to see my client but that's my biggest is I don't get to dictate necessarily who comes and goes. Well, who comes. I can decide who goes, but I don't get to dictate who sits in my chair every week. But the booking app was a game changer for me. Like I went from making some really good money, but I went from here to like doubling what I was doing just from a booking app. Because I was able to now post it being me just getting done with a haircut when I was supposed to be done with it. Just say from taking walk-ins and I'm telling you to come at such and such time, I can run over a little bit. But now I have a booking app that's kind of keeping me on time to where saying I got these clients every such and such time frame. You got to be at the chair in and out to where I don't have time to play. I don't have time to walk away and play. It keeps me on track. So for me, the booking app was a blessing for me because I just don't want to talk to every client. That's not something I want to do. I don't want to be, because I have some clients like a client text me, had to be like 11:50 the other night. I blocked them. I don't even know who it is. They was like, how do I book with you? Like, think about that. It was like, how do I book with you at 11:50?
Right.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, you gotta be kidding. But that's disrespectful.
Yeah.
Disrespectful. Like, I wouldn't text anybody about anything at that time of night. And that was like, I blocked them. I don't even want your business because you don't even respect me
as a human,
let alone as a barber.
Yeah.
So for me, booking apps have been great for me, man.
That's good. I love asking people that question simply because there's always pros and there's always cons to anything that we have a part of our life. It's a tool, and the better that we understand the tools, the better that we'll be able to use the tool. And so the fact that it's been nothing but a benefit to you, but that would be a cool feature if you had something where because you have the demand though, it's because you have the demand that you even have the heart and the mindset to say, you know what, I would like to just allow people to it's almost like approvals. Like you want them to be able to request an appointment and then you approve it. That's like, okay, yeah, I'll take you, and I'll take you, and I'll take that. Actually would be kind of cool. That's tight.
Yeah. So I got one request before we wrap up. So Joe, I need your help getting your good friend, you know who I'm about to say, need your help getting your good friend TJ on the podcast. I know he has a busy schedule as so do you. Okay. So, but if you can help me reach out to TJ and help us get him lined up for the show, that'd be great.
Talk to him as soon as I get off of here.
I appreciate that, man. We appreciate you taking time out about your day
I
too, man.
appreciate you guys, man.
Yeah.
Information is abundant, but a lot of us don't want it. So it's like I'm glad y'all are putting it out there for hopefully somebody's listening that wants to receive it. You know, the people the people that want it gonna receive it, but I want us all to receive. We know that's just not the case, you know. But yeah, man, I keep on doing what you guys are doing, man. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
Appreciate you.
Absolutely appreciate you as well for taking the time, man. This has been another great episode here on Elevated Barbers Podcast, and we told you that we was gonna be bringing you the gems, bringing you the fire, bringing you the heat, especially with powerful guests like we had today, Joe, the real estate barber. So for me, Bradford Kelly, and for the Elevated Barbers Podcast, we out.
We out. Peace.
1, 2,